We're live again!
Hello!
Hi!
We are together again by the lakeside, Sticks plus Twine.
Yep. And we're doing it again.
Yes.
We're back by popular demand.
Yes, we wanted to come and do a video together today because we have a Vogue Knitting Live recap
Yes, we do.
that we're super excited to share.
We sort of we weren't planning on actually podcasting today.
No.
We were actually going to go to our new favorite knitting shop, the Knitting Loft. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Maria and Bruna and everybody, but we decided that, you know what, let's just record because the polar vortex is gone. So we can leave the house again.
Yes.
Right?
I'm extremely dry.
It was
I have
nasty.
been slathering on products for a week.
Yeah, it was really cold.
Yes, and we kind of want to show you what we got.
Yeah.
And then I want to start knitting some stuff and putting stuff away. So this is a good time to do it. So it's Sunday. It's sunny today. It's a good day to podcast.
Yep. And it was an easy peasy drive. So there was no traffic on the roads, which was great. And so I think we're going to start with, as per usual for our double podcasts, we're going to have a part on Sandy. So you're watching part one. This will be part one.
That's right.
On By the Lakeside. And part two will be on Sticks plus Twine. And we'll have links to each other's in the description box below. And so what we're going to talk about first is we're going to start out with our recap of our trip to New York. Then, Sandy, you're going to talk about your acquisitions. Dare we call it the haul? I didn't really want to call it the haul anymore. Haul's kind of got that, but you know what?
It does, but this is a haul.
This is a haul. This is a haul.
This is a haul.
And then we're going to talk about some of our favorite things and some future knitting and all that sort of fun stuff.
Yes.
So, all right.
All right, so maybe we could start with where else you can find us.
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
We could do that too.
Let's do that.
I'm Sandy, and you can find me on Instagram as SANDYBYTHELAKESIDE. I have a website, which is bythelakeside.com. And what else is there? Ravelry. If you're looking for me on Ravelry, it is SANDYRAN. And I've been trying to keep my projects updated, so.
Perfect. And I am Sticks plus Twine on YouTube. I am on Instagram as e.p.lutz or z, depending on which form you use. And on Ravelry, I am EPLUTZ or Z, and the same conditions apply. Yeah, so that's where you can find us. And anything else we need to add? It's preamble. I don't think so.
I think we're good.
So we're going to take you through sort of like a day by day, what we did, that sort of stuff. Just sort of conversation around Vogue and how awesome it was. Set this stage. This was my third year going. My first time was 4 years ago. This is my third time going. I did not go last year, and I had serious FOMO that I didn't go. I really regretted not going. I thought about literally flying in for the day of, but it was just too much to get done. But this year we planned ahead, and
it was my first.
It was
your first
time. Yeah, and we brought our spouses, which was a bit of a risk because we weren't sure if they were going to get along.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah, we kind of knew.
Figured that they would, but you never know, right? And so there was a little bit of I hope they get along.
Yeah.
And when we got on the plane, we just kind of let them sit together.
Forced
so
bonding
we could chat.
moment.
We could chat and prepare and talk about what we wanted to do when we got there.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a plan going in.
We did. We knew that we were going to go to the marketplace pretty much straight away as soon as we sort of landed and got in and got settled at the hotel. And so we kind of knew, but we needed the time to plan it because we hadn't really planned up to that point very much. Yeah. We kind of had a rough idea. But the flight was nice and easy. That was really straightforward. I got to use my new away luggage that I was really excited about getting.
It's really nice.
I would show it as a favorite thing if I was able to. But
if you had it here?
If I had it here, I would show it as a favorite thing. But I got the carry-on and the medium bag, and I have the everywhere bag already, and the toiletry kit. And I also bought the packing cubes. So pretty much I'm a big away fanboy, I guess.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah.
I'm putting that on my one-day wish list.
You have to get it, yeah. And I mean, it's expensive, but you sort of buy a piece at a time, right? I bought a couple, and I have to buy the large one still for my long trip coming up this year. Anyway, that aside, we took an Uber into the city and got to our hotel. And we stayed at the Westin in Times Square, which was super convenient for going to Vogue because it was like, what, a 5-minute walk?
Yeah,
If
it
that,
was really
it was
close.
really close.
And it was just that bit away from main part of Times Square that it wasn't as busy or loud.
Yeah.
We had a really nice room.
Yeah, we actually had identical rooms at opposite ends of the floor, which was really nice.
So we would open our door and see directly down the hallway. We could say, okay, we're ready.
Yeah. And we got upgraded, which was nice. We got upgraded, so we had a corner suite for each of us, which was like totally unexpected, but really welcome.
Really, really nice.
Like for New York size hotel rooms, it was like palatial almost. Like it was pretty awesome.
Like probably the biggest room that I've ever stayed in New York.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we basically got in, dropped our stuff, dropped off our spouses, and was like, bye, we're off.
No.
Oh no, Glenn came with us.
Glenn
came with us.
That's right. He had never been
right.
to a knitting event.
Yeah, that was just me just saying bye to Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian's done it. He's done it before, right? He's been there
a couple of times, yeah.
But Glenn had never been to anything like that, so he was kind of curious, and he ended up sort of taking it all in. It was a bit crowded. The first night was a bit busy.
Friday was a bit. Yeah, it was insane, actually, a little bit.
Yeah, it was busy, and he kind of stood back, and I noticed he kept pulling his camera out and taking pictures, and he caught some moments of us shopping. I have a few pictures of that.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah. So
but that was fun, and that was when we popped in to see... You went to Nice and Knit because...
Yes, because I had bags that were that were special for their booth, and so I wanted to pop in and say hello. I had some aprons to give them because I had made an apron, a little kind of cafe apron, so that they could pop in a pencil and a notebook or whatever. So I went to say hi and check out their booth, which was just beautiful. It was pretty. It was really, really beautiful, and it just represented them so well. They had flowers with little minis of yarn coming out of it. And I got to say hi to everyone. And then you popped into Primrose.
Yes, because...
And so we did the same.
And my new cowl, the Formation cowl pattern, was released at Vogue. And the wonderful Sandy was my model, so...
That was quite a surprise. So if you follow on Instagram, you probably saw some pictures. There was a large...
Like a pop-up banner that had Sandy
my
like
face
huge on it.
So, of course, Glenn was like, stand in front, and I had to do all of the... the pictures in front of the... But it was really beautiful, too. That booth was...
It was huge. It was great. Kelsey from Primrose was asking all the designers to sign their banners. So she's got this horrible video of me like being completely sassy going to sign it, and it was on her stories.
I have that video too.
Oh no! Oh no!
Maybe I can pop a little bit in here.
Oh god! Okay, total embarrassment. I'm gonna blush.
Okay, no, I'll let you pre-approve if you want it in or not.
You know what? Just put it in. Just put it in. I have no shame.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was really, for me, was like, it was a big deal for me. Like, here I am at ostensibly one of the biggest knitting events in the world, at least in North America. It is like, and I'm not saying that there aren't others. There's industry shows like TNNA, which is probably even bigger, but for a new designer, like you can't get much better than releasing a pattern in Vogue. So that was really, I felt pretty honored to be asked to do that.
And the pattern is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so nice. I'm dying to make it.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We will.
But there are plans.
Yeah, there are plans within plans within plans.
Yes.
As befits a Mobius cowl.
Yes.
So we did that, and then we did a little bit of shopping, of course.
Not a ton, but we...
No, that night we didn't do a huge amount. We did, but we did a little bit of damage.
We did, and we knew that we wanted to go to like one place in particular in case they sold out.
Yeah.
And we'll share some of that in the first bit of the haul.
Yep. So we did that, and then we got a bunch of yarn, and we weren't there terribly late on the Friday.
No. We didn't, we started to run into people that we knew or that they knew us, and that was really nice too.
Yeah. Oh my god, we could like literally just have a scrolling list of everybody that we ran into, but I would be afraid to do that because I wouldn't want to like forget somebody inadvertently.
I know. But it was, you know what I thought was kind of fun too? because it was great meeting everybody. Meeting people that I had met at Rhinebeck. And so there's a familiar face again, and you got to, you know, reconnect. And
totally. And I find, like, because it's Rhinebeck and Vogue are so geographically close, we tend to see the same people, which is really, really nice. And people that we didn't see on Friday, we ended up seeing on Saturday, or we did run back on Sunday, but we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was an early start to the day, and it took a while for us to get into the city, and traffic was bad. We did eat at the Shake Shack though before we went in, which is kind of nice.
It was very close to our hotel.
Yeah.
Very convenient.
Yeah, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And then we went, and I think Glenn left earlier than we did because
I think
we went off in a shop,
it was getting crowded, and he was hot, and he kind of waited for us, I think, in the lobby or outside. I think he was outside.
And then we went back to the hotel to drop off our stuff, and then we had a dinner, which turned out to be fine. Like, the food was okay, like, it was good. But the circumstance was what made it, because it was hilarious.
I forgot about that, actually.
No, it was so funny. We ended up at a dinner with a bunch of wonderful folks, and we ended up going to this, like, 5-star Italian restaurant where all the waiters are, like, old school, like, real deal, like, tuxedos and everything.
And
we're dressed like this, kind of.
Yeah, we
like,
stood outside the window, and we were like, is this the right place?
Yeah. So I'm going to put blame where blame is due and say that was Mina of the Knitting Expats' fault.
Yes.
She chose the restaurant. And she, I mean, like she said, you know, at least we have a story about it now.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I mean, it did turn out, it was pretty funny, but.
It was. And it was a little quiet when we walked in. And
and then at one point we got real loud.
Yes.
But that was fun. We were having a good time.
It was all good.
So, and then by the time dinner was done, we were exhausted, so we just sort of crashed out. But then on Saturday was like the big day for us. Yeah. We both had a time slot that we would be in the booth. You were in Primrose and I was in Nice and Knit, so we knew we had that couple of hours around noon, so we were like, oh, and I had something else that morning. Yep.
I had an interview with Christy Glass, which was a lot of fun.
Yep.
So
that'll be, and it's not out yet, I don't think.
It's not published yet. I'm not really sure when it's going to be, but
hopefully it's soon.
Yeah. So that was fun, but we kind of we didn't rush to get there too early. We just sort of took our time, had a coffee and went, and we tried to do a little bit of I don't even think I really shopped that morning, but I did a bit of a run through so that I could see what was there and what I might want to go back and check out. Yeah. And that was good, because sometimes at these events, I don't see everything.
Yeah, and you know what I will say? I don't feel like, even on this trip, after going 3 days, I still don't feel like I saw everything.
No, but at least I saw each booth, I think. I didn't necessarily go into each one, and but I thought that might be a little too tempting too. Yeah. Because there was a lot of good stuff there.
There definitely was. There was a lot worth looking at. Yeah. But you did the interview with Christy. Yeah. And then I was at the Primrose booth helping people pick out colors for the cowl and stuff like that. It was really nice because Vera Velimaki was on while I was there, so I got to catch up with her a little bit, which was really nice because I hadn't really seen her other than the one time in Toronto when she came.
Yeah, and she's so nice.
She's so lovely. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun talking to people about the pattern and picking out colors. There's one gentleman who was, I'm not sure if he was going to knit it or if his friend was going to knit it for him, but it was nice picking out colors, and it turned out there were colors in his shirt. It just happened to be, oh, sorry, that's mine. I'm not on quiet mode. That's my bad. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, now we're on quiet mode. So that was fun. It was really enjoyable. It was kind of cool. And then while I was at the booth, of course, I ran into a lot of people that, I'm friends with that I hadn't seen yet, hadn't had a chance to connect with. So that was it was fun. It was cool. And then you were still at the Nice and Knit booth. And how was that for your...
That was...
Because you were there a lot longer than I was at.
I really enjoyed it. I used to actually work in trade shows and booth setups and stuff at one part of my career. And I kind of liked it. It let me step away from... I mean, it was crowded, but instead of being the attendee, I got to kind of place myself in the back corner and just kind of help. I don't know how much help I was, but just help tidy up some of the yarn that would become, you know, thrown everywhere. It was really busy, and rightly so, because they have some beautiful, beautiful yarn.
Yeah.
So I think they were, you know, I think they had a good show. I think it was fun to see people coming in for the bags, which maybe I'll show right now.
Yeah, you
these
should.
were, because I've shown them before, but these were the bags that were done for the Nice Knit booth.
Would you like me to hold this one?
Sure.
I'll hold this one.
So that's the small one, and
Mine
then
too. Yes, I
the
do.
black denim is the big one. And I still have some of these in my shop. When I did get back, I posted the rest in the shop. And it was just a lot of fun. It was nice to see that side of it. Just hearing the ladies, Katie and Cara, just talk to people about what they could substitute for patterns, and it was really nice. I really liked it. And
cool.
yeah, and a lot of people were coming in to see me, which was also really, really nice. I saw a lot of people that I know online and some that I didn't know, so it was really good. I felt like that would have been enough. Like all the other stuff was extra, but it was a really great experience, and I would work with them, you know, a million times over. They're just incredible ladies. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Would you do it again?
I would. I wouldn't be able to do it if it was more often. It's it's a lot, and I wasn't able to update my shop for a little bit of time there, but I think it was worth it, and it was a fun experience. So
That's cool.
yeah.
I'm glad that it worked out. Like,
Yeah.
especially being your first time to Vogue overall, and
Yeah.
then to have this work
Yeah.
out, that's encouraging.
Yes.
And then Saturday after, we did a bit of shopping again.
Yeah, so we met up when I was done in the booth, and,
Yeah.
and we were all wrapped up. And that's when we sort of,
That's when we did our like big damage shop. Well, I did.
yeah.
You had already done most of your big damage shop.
I did
think,
a lot in Nice and Knit because
yeah.
I was really looking forward to getting some of their yarn. I have projects in mind. I had a little book, and I don't know where it is, but I had a little tiny notebook that just before we went on the trip, I started writing down on each page what patterns I was serious about making. Not that were in my queue, but things that I knew I wanted to knit one day,
Right.
and what weight of yarn they required and how many skeins I would need. So I had all these little kind of notes, or like a cheat sheet, so that if I saw something beautiful, I had to have a reason for it.
Right.
So I would check the book, like, you know, how many would I need to make that? So
Right.
that kind of worked out for me. And when I purchased, I sort of bought with those things in mind. So yeah, I did get a lot from Nice and Knit.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It's funny that I didn't have a lot that I had in mind to make, but I got inspired by a lot of the things that I ended up buying to use for designs.
Yeah.
Right. So it's,
Which has a purpose too, right?
Yeah,
So I
for
think we
sure.
both bought with purpose, but they were just different.
yeah, and I
reasons.
got really like into some of the skins, like a 3 of one particular one that I'll show a little bit later, but you know, I know exactly what I want to do with it.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a pattern that exists, it exists up here.
Up there.
So
Yeah. So we did that. We ended
Yeah.
up meeting up with the guys eventually because they were
yeah, well,
they had done a little bit of sightseeing, I think, that day. I know Glenn
Yeah.
went to a store and Sebastian did some sightseeing.
yeah, he went to Central Park and did some sightseeing and videoing and stuff. So
And then they met up with us. And I think that's the night. Did we have pizza? We wanted a slice.
yeah, we dropped all of our stuff back off at the hotel, and then we wanted pizza. And the
Yeah.
pizza didn't turn out to be as memorable as we'd hoped, but
No.
it filled
It was okay.
the purpose. And then we went from there, we got an Uber out to Long Island City, which I'd never been to before.
I don't
like,
think
ever.
I've been there either.
And I'm glad that we Ubered it instead of trying to like Subway it, because we were like kind of behind schedule, but we got there right when we wanted to be.
Yes.
Because we went to Christy Glass's pub night. I don't know what it was billed as, or
I think it was like knit night at the pub or something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
and it was fun. It was really, really great. That was, I think, for me, that was the highlight of the whole trip.
Yeah. Well, it gave us a chance to actually not feel rushed and talk to some people.
Yeah.
And it was a small venue. It wasn't it wasn't a huge event.
Right.
So it allowed you to kind of, mingle and chat with a few people,
Yeah.
which was nice.
And people that were like folks that I had gotten to know a little bit better through the years, but also got to meet some people for the first time. I got to talk to Caitlin Hunter a little bit, which was nice.
You know, I really wanted to say hi to her.
Yeah.
But I just...
You just couldn't?
I
Were
just
you
couldn't.
fangirling too hard?
A little bit. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny because I see people that I recognize too, and I'm a little bit shy to go up to them. But she was someone I kind of wish that maybe I...
Well, there's always next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to talk to a lot of people. You sat next to one of my favorites, Denise from
She's one of my
EARTHTONESGIRL.
favorites too. We had
Yeah.
such a fun conversation where,
She's kind of awesome. I
Denise
love
is
Denise.
just, she's just amazing and lovely. And I could have sat with her all night. Like, I think at one point we were like, we better talk to some other people because we could just sit here and talk all night.
And SHAMEKA introduced me to LUXE of Brooklyn Boy Knits, who I'd wanted to meet him for quite a while, which was it was really nice to get to just talk to people that, you know, when like the New York knitosphere is so tight in a lot of ways. And I'd say the Toronto knitosphere is kind of in the same position, but when you get that overlap and you get to sort of introduce and meet people. And,
because I think about a third of the people there were that New York group, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, and it was kind of neat to see, like even Gigi, Cece.
Gigi, Cece, Stephanie from Asylum Fibers. We got to talk to her for a bit. Christina from Chelsea Yarns. We wanted to
I
talk
got
to.
some time with her, and that was really nice.
Yeah,
I love Christina.
And you know, I mean, we could go all 3 hours talking about, you know, all the people we talked to, but it was really, really nice. It was a great event. Like, it was, I think our spouses were maybe a little less engaged in it, but they're not knitters, but at least they had each other to talk to.
Yeah.
And compare like notes about like cameras and technology and weird stuff.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what they were talking about.
I think it was mainly about like videoing and stuff like that. So we just gotta get them into like, they should produce our podcast. That's what they should do.
Well, I've had requests to have Glenn in the podcast, so I'm gonna have to try to convince him to do that.
You know what? I think maybe we should do an episode like you interview Glenn and Glenn interviews you, and I'll have Sebastian do the same for me.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
or if we travel again, which we might.
Yeah.
4 of us.
Well, I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
We had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun together.
Yeah, and we all traveled really well together. So.
Yeah, exactly. So that was Saturday, and then basically by the end of Saturday, we were like just ready to crash. It was.
We were exhausted.
We were.
We took some pictures too, and I was looking at the pictures, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I look tired," but it was all for good reasons, and we were happy tired.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was good. And then Sunday, we decided not to hustle. No. On Sunday, it was like, we're just gonna get ourselves together when we get together. We hadn't originally planned on going back to the show.
Yeah, it was more of like, if we want to, if we missed something, I think we were both kind of thinking, let's look at what we have, which we both did in our own respective rooms, and we were like, okay, I think we did have one place we wanted to go back in particular, which was Plucky.
Yes.
Because it was really busy there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and you did get in there and purchase on Saturday, but it was kind of hard. There were a lot of people, so.
Yeah, the thing that I kept saying to Sandy was, you just got to get in there and throw some elbows, because it's the only way you're gonna get.
I'm not really good at that. I think when there's too many people, I'm just like, I'll come back later. I'll do it later.
Yeah. But I'm glad I encouraged you to get in there, because we got some good stuff.
We did. I was hoping to get something for a friend, and they were wiped out of all of the colors that I was hoping for, but it was just too busy.
That's just the way that happens, though, right?
Yeah,
like,
Plucky's always busy. So.
Yeah.
So we did that. We
So we went back in. Yeah. And then.
And we didn't spend too long there.
No, because we had
really went in. Oh, but then we did have some really nice conversations with a couple people.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
In their booths, and it was really nice to kind of talk to them when things were more quiet.
Yeah.
So we went to the Clinton Hill CASHMERE booth.
Yeah, and we talked to Becky for quite a while.
Yeah, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to get my olive tote bag, which they didn't get in time for the show, but that's okay. It should be here this week.
And then we also went and talked to the folks at Indian Lake Artisans, which is right next door.
Which was really nice. I really enjoyed talking to them, and I've got some needles to try I'm really excited about.
Yeah. we've got some stuff to talk about in the hall there.
Yeah, and then we kind of did a quick once around.
Yeah, we went back to Primrose. We went back to Nice and Knit
Just to say goodbye to everyone. We saw SHAMEKA, which was really nice again, and
we had
our hugs.
It's like
SHAMEKA hugs.
SHAMEKA hugs are the best hugs on the planet, and
I love her.
We adore her. SHAMEKA is MEKAMIKASHOP on Instagram, just in case anybody's looking. She actually was in the Friday Night Fashion Show because she did that whole double knit shawl in like dark gray and hot pink. SHAMEKA is, if anyone's been living under a rock and doesn't know SHAMEKA is known for her love of pink. And everything she does is pink. Although now pink has become rose gold.
Yeah.
She's now like moving into rose
pink.
gold, but it's still pink.
But that shawl that she did,
it's pretty amazing.
It's
pretty awesome.
Pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. So we talked to her, and then we finally were like, okay, we got to get out of here because we promised our spouses that we would like spend the day doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
So
we wanted to we've all been there before, but we just wanted to kind of enjoy the city a little bit.
Yeah. And the weather was nice. It was compared to, winter, it was actually quite warm.
Yeah.
So we went to Kinokuniya.
Yes,
the bookstore.
And then totally randomly, I've shown on the podcast many times before the leather covers that I love for my Hobonichis or whatever journals, which is from the brand Sojourner. Rowena, who is the owner and designer there, she happened to be in New York and she was posting that she was going to that same store. So I messaged her and said, oh my gosh, I'm in the city. And so I met up with her and she gave me this cute little Field Notes notebook and pen, and that's her tagline there. It's documenting life as it happens, and that was really nice. It was
convenient.
It was convenient, and I love following her on Instagram, and we had a nice chat. It was hard because I felt a little bit rushed, and I felt bad. I think I left you guys a little too long.
It was fine. It was fine. We went for coffee.
Yeah.
So but we had gone there originally because I wanted to get the Weeks Mega Weeks?
Yes.
Mega Weeks Hobonichi, but they were sold out.
Yeah.
So that's okay. I have one. It's on order, and I can't wait for it to arrive. I'll show it on the next podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do a little video with some of that planner stuff too. But so yeah, we did that. We did a quick.
We went for coffee. I'm going to talk about the coffee thing for just a sec.
Okay.
If that's okay. So we went to La Colombe Coffee, which is just right down the street from Kinokuniya on 6th Avenue, and what I loved about it, I've always loved their coffee, but the experience of the sustainability that they bring to like a to-go coffee cup was amazing.
Oh.
I don't know if I shared this with you.
No.
So you get your coffee in a to-go cup, but they put on a ceramic saucer, a metal spoon, they put a napkin, a metal spoon, and then they put your lid on top of that.
Oh.
So it's like, there was like almost no waste with it, and then you just sort of slide it down to the other end. But they also had a water dispenser that has sparkling and still water at the end. I know, it's amazing. I was wow, this is really like, as far as like a coffee experience goes, I thought it was really different, but I really appreciated the touch. And it wasn't any more money than Starbucks. There was no crowd or line like a Starbucks would have, but I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So that's why La Colombe. So I usually will buy their canned like iced coffees at like Target or something like that. But it was really cool. So that's why it was like, I didn't mind waiting.
Yeah.
Because I had great coffee.
Well, that's good.
And the weather was nice, so we sat outside and stuff. And then we jumped on the subway and we went down to the World Trade Center, to the new, the World Trade Center Transportation Center, I guess, whatever that's called. So you guys could see the Oculus with the new design. And then we went to Century 21, and I bought a couple of shirts there. I don't think you guys bought anything at Century 21.
We didn't have any luck there.
No.
I found it, by that time I was done.
Yeah,
I was
we
done
were
shopping.
exhausted.
It was nice to kind of walk around, but it was hot with our coats on. And I think Glenn is more of a Century 21 shopper, but he didn't find anything that struck his fancy, so.
Right. And then we went to Italy for lunch.
That
sort
was
of a late
fun.
lunch.
Yeah, but that was
really
nice.
Good. Yeah.
That was nice. That was something that we had hoped we could do because that was the book that Eric gave me for Christmas this year.
Yeah, and that one I really like. It's small, but it was kind of nice. The only thing that kind of annoyed me was the sandwich bar that closed like 3 hours early.
Yeah, we wanted to grab a sandwich in addition to what we ate and just kind of hang on to it for later.
Yeah, and they just wouldn't sell them to us because their cash was closed.
Yeah.
It was silly. But we did have a good meal there. We had a nice pasta.
And we made a purchase there that we'll
Yes.
share.
I know, I'm very excited. And
Me
you've
too.
already used it. I
I've
haven't
already
used
used it.
mine yet, but
Yeah.
I will. And then what did we do after that? We went, I think we just went back uptown to the hotel for a bit, didn't we?
We did, and I think that
What
was
did
when
we
we
do?
decided to, like, we were gonna knit or just kind of relax for a little bit, and then we
Right.
went to, I don't know what it was called, but we all got something different to eat.
Right, so it's a place called City Kitchen, which is, I guess, the kind of restaurant that's in the Row Hotel on 8th Avenue. And it has like 6 different vendors that are there. It's sort of like a high-end food court, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had ramen, Sebastian had ramen, and you had...
I had some kind of lamb wrap, and it was
Oh, yeah, you had the lamb
delicious.
wrap.
It was really, really good. And Glenn had a lobster roll.
Yep.
And then we had donuts.
Oh, the donuts were
We had some
so good.
beautiful donuts,
Yeah.
and we got 4, and we cut them in 4, and then we all kind of sampled
Yeah.
everything.
It was delicious.
It was.
And then by then it was like, okay, now we're done, we're pooped.
Yeah, but we still walked around.
We did. We went back
walked
to
around,
Times Square
went
and
in a
we took
few
some
shops.
pictures. Yeah, went to the Disney store. We went to
Yeah.
the Hershey store.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did a bit of that. I totally forgot about that. That's how
Yeah.
tired I was, I think, by that point.
Yeah, we were exhausted, but then when you get there, you're like, we
We're
can't
here.
go back to our room.
No,
like,
not
let's
quite
enjoy.
yet.
And
Yeah.
we walked around, took some pictures.
And
And then I
then-
think we were done, right?
Yes, because that's when the Rent Live to Air broadcast was on.
Yes,
Right.
and Glenn is a huge musical fan. He loves Rent. That's probably his #1, but
Mm.
he didn't like it.
So can I tell you, we recorded it and I watched it not last night, night before, and I fast forwarded through 80% of it just to get to the songs that I liked.
Yeah.
And I'm not a mega fan like Glenn is, but I like the musical a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I found there were it had a different impact for me. Like it
They
wasn't the
changed it,
same.
right? Like they changed it
yeah.
a little bit, which maybe worked for TV. I'm not sure.
But they had some good artists. Like the voices
Yeah.
were good. Kayla Seattle was there. She was in Greatest Showman.
Yes, I love her.
She's amazing. Yeah, she was
Yeah.
really good in
I
it.
think it was the format that threw him. I think he's
Yeah.
such a huge fan that I don't think he could get over some of the changes that.
Yeah, there's some shows like Chicago. I'm seeing it on the cruise ship versus seeing the actual show. It's very similar, but it's staged differently. But that's the kind of show where it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need the same settings and that sort of stuff. So I thought it was okay. Now I will say I did get a little emotional near the end because it just brought back all the memories of that time. Like I was graduating high school in 91 when it came out. Like there was all that, the fear around HIV and AIDS and the stigma around it, and like I got a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I got choked up. Like I'm gonna get choked up now.
Yeah.
But it was really impactful in that way. But it wasn't because of their performances of it. I think it was just the memories that it just brought back.
Yeah.
It triggered me, y'all. I got triggered. Anyway, so that was that night, and then the next day we went back to the airport.
Yes.
We had to leave.
Well, 3 of us did.
3 of us did,
We left
yeah.
Glenn behind because he was staying for an extra day for work.
Right.
So we left, and that's when the snowstorm hit Toronto.
And that's when the fun began. It was fun, but
Yeah.
we were all booked on a flight. We were supposed to get on. The flight got delayed, and then got canceled along with all the other flights.
Yeah.
So we spent basically half the day in the airport or so.
Pretty much. We left the
Yeah.
city at just after 12.
Yeah. And then we called it when they said, the flight's canceled.
Yeah. There was no more hope.
Yeah, no more hope. So we just got a hotel out by the airport.
Yeah.
And stayed there for the night, and then got up at like silly o'clock the next day.
Yeah.
And I know I slept because I was pooped from the day, but I don't
slept.
think you slept.
I slept too. Yeah. I was quite tired.
And then you and Sebastian got on the next flight out. One of the
morning.
flight outs the next morning, and then mine took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But it was fun coming back to uncovering our
Oh
cars.
my gosh. We were both parked outdoors,
Yeah.
and
Oh gosh, that was an adventure.
it was an adventure, and I was kind of thinking I could leave the car for Glenn, but he didn't have the keys, so I had to figure it out. But in the end, it wasn't so bad.
Right.
I got home.
And it turns out it was actually probably better we didn't get home during the storm
I think
because
so.
I think it would have been just disastrous. By the time I got home, it was blue skies, it was sunny, it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Yeah, it's been freezing all week. I don't know about today. I think it might be a little
Today's not that bad. Today's actually pretty reasonable. It is, according to my watch, 6 degrees Celsius outside.
Oh, wow.
So
that's nothing.
Yeah, it was on average with the wind chill, it was like -30, -32 in Toronto. It was so cold. Celsius.
Yeah.
It was so cold. Both my heat pumps in my condo were pretty much running constantly just to try and keep the temperature at a livable temperature. 'Cause when you live in a place where it's all glass, it's like, it's hard to keep it
And
up.
you've got windows on both sides.
And I'm right at the lake, so the wind was hitting right on the side where all the glass is.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all good now. It's part of living winter in Canada.
Yeah, and it was worth it. It was a great trip.
It was awesome.
We had a lot of fun.
It was a blast. So, the big question, would you go again?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Should we bring our spouses next time?
I would.
Yeah, I would too.
I would.
Okay, so pretty much we can plan on 2020.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yay! With that said, why don't we get into your haul first?
Do it. Okay.
Let's take a quick little pauserini.
Yes, let's
and
do
then we will come back and start with Sandy's haul.
Okay. Okay, so we're back with our haul.
We are back.
So the first thing I'm going to show is a hat that I specifically wanted to finish for the trip. It is the road trippin' hat, and I thought it would be perfect to bring to New York.
Yeah, it's stunning.
It's really, really pretty.
I love it.
The COOKIEGATE colorway from Chelsea Luxe. It's DK held with mohair, and it's really warm, which was perfect for this polar vortex.
You know what I love about it most? I mean, I love the colors, I love the pattern, I love the pom-pom, but I love the fact that the mohair just kind of disappears. You don't see it as a separate strand.
Yeah, and it's not overly halo-ish or fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's not super, super, it's just perfect. And I love
really
this
nice.
pom-pom so much. This was also from Chelsea Yarns, the store. And I love it. This was super fast. There were a lot of comments on Instagram at how fast it went, but it's such an easy, fun knit that you don't want to put it down.
Did you blow dry your
No.
pom-pom to fluff it?
Nope, I did nothing.
That's pretty awesome.
Look at those little spiky.
I love it.
I love it too. And it has the snap so that it's easy if you want to wash.
Easy on you.
You
Oh,
can
that's
wash
cool.
that. I love it.
I am not a pom-pom person. I don't know why. I think, actually I do know why. When you don't have a lot of hair, and if there's any slouch at all, and there's something like a pom-pom there that kind of moves around too much, it feels like there's like something there's too much movement.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, I don't, that's maybe why I don't like them.
I
love how they look, I just don't like wearing them.
Yeah.
But that's gorgeous, I love that one. Well done, Christina, good
Yes,
choices.
beautiful pattern, so much fun.
Love it.
Okay. So first thing I got was actually a gift from you.
It
Let's
was.
start with that.
At the airport, no less.
At the airport, I had
Yeah.
to pop it in my bag.
Well,
so,
as they say, start as you mean to go on.
Yes.
So
It
we
was a
started
good
as we
start.
meant to go on.
So Eric was so sweet and gave me these two beautiful skeins of yarn from Primrose. And at first I thought they were the same, but they're not. They are the Sophia base, which is a 3-ply fingering. This one is Bohemian. And this is Ratatat, which has a little bit more purple, I think, in it.
Yeah.
So one is a little more rusty, and one is a little more...
Yeah, that shows them off perfectly. Yeah.
And this is so that I can make Eric's beautiful cowl, the formation cowl, which I cannot wait. I think this year is like the year of the cowl for me. I'm loving, ever since I finished the Petiki cowl, I cast on the 3-color cashmere cowl. I have another cowl I want to make, and this cowl.
Yeah.
I find they're really, like for our climate or
They're
weather,
perfect.
they're perfect.
I'm loving cows too because they don't fall off.
They don't, and you don't have to arrange it so much.
And when you live in such a cold climate, which I have to say, Toronto's really not that cold. And I say Toronto, but I mean like, neither one of us actually live in the city of Toronto. We live
No.
outside of, but it's easy reference.
Yeah.
But you're constantly going from your house where it's warm to your outside where it's cold to your car where it's warm. You're constantly like on, off, on, off
Yeah,
with the
and
coats.
then you get hot inside of a store.
Yeah. And a cowl's really easy because if you wear it like doubled up, you're like, oh, I'm warm. And then you go to a store and you just undo one. You're like, oh, okay, I can breathe again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know.
They're very practical.
They're very
we
practical.
like the practical.
And especially I think in the lighter weight yarn. Like
Yes.
it's not a big bulky weight, so you can breathe in it.
Yeah. Yeah, we really like
Cannot
that.
wait for that. So when I went to the Primrose booth, I thought, okay, I need a contrast color for that beautiful, is that an I-cord bind off?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I grabbed two to compare. I got this, they're showing up a little bit dark. I got these minis at the Primrose booth. This one is Highlands. It's like a hunter, kind of a turquoise green actually.
Mm-hmm. It's like a tealy hunter.
Yeah, and then this
Yeah.
one is juxtaposed, and I think this is gonna be it.
I
It's
think
actually
it-
a bit
yeah.
brighter. It's not showing up very well, is it? But
But when you photograph the
That's gonna be
final
it.
one, it'll show.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be the edging around it, and I cannot wait.
It's going to be really nice. It's gonna be
Beautiful.
really, really nice.
So I'm having a bit of a dilemma now
Mm-hmm.
because I've been very intentional with my knitting this year. And of course, this is all very stimulating, and I want to pick something and knit, but I don't know what I want to knit next because I'm kind of in overload mode.
Yeah.
And I would
feel you.
love to cast this on, but I have my other cowl to finish. And I'm not even, I've just started it. So we'll see.
I know.
We'll see.
I know. I actually want to make another formation as well, but
Well, we should do
yeah.
a little mini knit along, like a casual.
you know what? Let's do that.
That would
Let's
be
do
fun.
It. Okay, I'll talk about it. We're on Sandy's channel right now. When we come to my side, when we go to mine, then I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And then that'll give us a minute to like just a hot minute to think about what we're gonna
Yes.
do. But yeah,
Okay.
let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
So then, you know what? I'm going to jump into the nice and knit stuff.
Ooh, I can't wait because there's some pretty
really
stuff,
nice.
y'all.
So let's see. Okay, speaking of cowls, I picked up these gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
colors to make.
Let me hold those up for
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Got them.
I've had
Show
this.
Vanna White
I've had
for
this
you.
in my queue on Ravelry for quite a long time. It's called the Dessau by Carrie Bostic Hogue. And I love this geometric kind of, it's just triangle. So this would be the triangles
Triangles.
contrast. Well, this is totally blowing out. There it is again. It's really, really pretty. And
Triangles.
then the main color would be this. Let's see, what are these? This is called High Tide,
This is called Reed.
and they are all worsted weight.
And you know, I love even the names that go together, like High Tide and Reed. It's very like Provincetowny.
And do you know they actually had, because I think Katie, I don't know if both of them, but I know Katie went to Cape Cod just before I did this year, and a whole bunch
really?
of her colors were named after places in Cape Cod,
It's
which
very Cape
totally
Cod-y.
got me.
Yeah, we love this.
Yes, love it. So that's another cowl.
I love this. I almost bought the same quantities. I almost did because I loved the pattern and the colors, but I'd already spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was being good. I was being good.
And then
Oh.
this color,
Y'all.
I've seen lots of things being knit with this color on the Nice and Knit feed on Instagram. It's called Autumn. And it's perfect.
I shall hold for you.
Thank you. This is worsted also? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to make Kate's Poncho, which is a Nice and Knit pattern. And I might do it without the turtleneck and just do like a basic crew neck style.
I love that. It's gonna look really
I
nice.
really love it. And actually, they have one poncho that they're making out of this, and that's sort of what sold me because it's so pretty.
Yeah, we like this color.
And
I
I
bought
know-
this color in a different way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's in one of the things I'm gonna show later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
love this color.
I love it too.
Cool.
And then I went back again because I've had this hat in my queue for a long, long time. It's the City Park hat by THEA Coleman.
Thea Coleman's Baby Cocktails, right?
I don't know.
I think she's Baby Cocktails on Instagram.
But this hat I've wanted to make for ages. And I could never really find the right color combination until this. And this is mint chip, and I have wanted to make something in mint chip for so long, but just didn't know what. And then when I saw it next to Dockside, it was perfect. So this is going to be the brim and the pom-pom, and then this will be the body, the main part of the hat. I love it. Perfect.
I love that.
Perfect.
Look at that, you've got quite a nice little stack of yarn
I
happening
know.
here. You can't see it, but it's stacking very well.
Yeah. Then we went to Plucky, and
Yeah.
I was actually pretty good because I'm knitting with Plucky right now on a project. But when I saw this base I've never seen before. It's Beauregard, which is 60% yak, 40% cashmere, and it is
Yeah, it's amazing.
luxurious. It was pricey, so I thought one skein, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe just a super simple hat, I think would really show off this
I feel
yarn.
like when you have yarns like that, you have to put it next to skin.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in doing it for like something that's not going to be worn next to skin. Like,
Yeah.
you want to feel that softness, I think.
Yeah, and this color is Eyelet.
Yeah. So we're laughing a little bit as a little interlude to our description of our yarn purchases because
Right beneath me is our family room. And all of a sudden the music was getting louder and louder because Glenn is listening to Rent or watching Rent, and it was really, really loud. So we just had to send him a message to please turn down the volume.
So in case any of that came through earlier, you're welcome.
So that is my Plucky. This is a nice one. I think I'm going to save this for a bit until it tells me what it wants to be.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
Okay, then I got some great gifts from people that I ran into, which was so nice. We met Ashley from AK Knits, who I've known on Instagram for quite some time. She's the sweetest lady.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Yeah, and if you don't follow her, you should check her out because she's always doing amazing things for the knitting community and also does a lot of giveaways. She's super generous. And she gave me this stunning colorway of Plucky. It's the PRIMROSE Sport. I didn't know it was Sport. Oh, I thought it was fingering. See, this means I can do something different.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I forgot to bring you something. I have a bunch of sport weight at home I meant to bring you.
do?
Oh, well, next time.
So this one is PRIMROSE Sport, which is superwash merino, cashmere, and nylon, and the colorway is chic. It's kind of my color.
Yeah, it really is your
coming
color.
up a little bit dark, but it's that beautiful, rich kind of.
It's like a royal purple.
Yeah,
It's very regal.
it is very
Yeah.
regal. I love that. Thank you, Ashley. Then we saw the lovely ladies from. Is it Girls in the Yarn? Wait, Girls in the Yarn Cafe,
That sounds right.
right?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
right.
Tristan and Christy.
We'll correct down below.
Yeah,
in case we're wrong.
because I know them individually, but I always forget what the podcast name is because
Yes, I
Tristan
always do
is
too.
from Dragon Horde Yarns, and she gave me this beautiful skein of her hand-dyed yarn. It is the colorway Roses, and it's fingering weight, so that will
It's,
be
again, so you.
it's very me. They
Yeah.
picked colors, I think, that were
Yeah, I love it.
very me. It's beautiful. Look at that. Thank you, Tristan. And then Christy from Yarn Cafe Creations gave me a skein of her Avalon base. And this color is Avalon base. I don't know what the color is though, but it's beautiful. So more purple for me because I love purples. Thank you
Awesome.
so much, ladies. It was so nice of you. And then I had a package sent over through my friend Sophia, who is one quarter of the Knitters League podcast. She was in the Nice to Knit booth. And she brought something over for me from Sue at Legacy Fiber Arts and Chelsea because I had been admiring a hat. I don't know if you saw Sue's Kobook hat.
Yeah.
This is what she knitted in. And again, totally my colors.
Yeah, I love it.
So she sent over the DK and the Cloud Mohair so that I could make a Kobook. And I love it so much. Thank you, Sue. And thank you, Chelsea. I'm so excited. I have so many things that I can make.
You do. You have a lot of cowls and a lot of hats ready to go.
I know. And I've got,
Yeah.
so the one thing that I'm really focusing on right now is my 3-color cashmere cowl.
Yes.
And I'm right at the beginning of it. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of distracted. I feel like starting something, but
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with starting a hat when you're in
I
the
think a
middle of the
hat.
cowl.
I think
Yeah.
a hat because it's kind of a quick.
Well, I
quick
sort of
fix.
figured depending on how big the cowl is, you can get like 2 hats done in the same time as one cowl. So
Yeah.
really you can get 3 finished objects done in what would take to do a scarf.
So here's
Right.
my next dilemma though.
Ooh, dilemmas. We love dilemmas.
Is it the City Park hat?
Ooh,
Is it the Kobuk hat?
right.
Or is it a super fast, because I've been like, chunky hat?
Ooh.
Because this would be fast, right?
That one's called Sunday Times.
Yes.
You have to do that one.
And it's Chelsea Luxe.
Sunday Times.
And I have a black pom-pom for it.
Okay, there's no question what to do
Okay.
next.
Thank you.
There you go. See?
Okay.
Dilemma solved. We're here
Yeah.
to serve.
And it'll be quick. It'll be
Yeah.
faster to knit this one.
It'll be fun.
So. Oh, I forgot to show my Shelly Can. So
Let's do
we
that.
went to Shelly Can. She
Yes.
was one of the first booths that we decided to go to. And I picked up this beautiful pizza tote, which was the VKL New York City 2019 tote bag.
Yep.
And I love it. It's really well made. It's huge.
Should we show inside?
Yeah, it's got
I don't
this.
know how much it'll show, but
It's
we
got
shall
this
try.
sort of large pocket here, which is great if you want to put your pins on the pizza and it won't.
Which a lot of people were doing. You and I didn't do it because we were afraid of them like
I'm
popping
a little,
off.
yeah. I'm a little bit like I don't want to ruin it. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to.
But a lot
I
of
just
people
love
have.
it. Yeah,
A
and
lot
it
of
looks
people have
really
done it. Yeah, it
cute.
looks
So you
great.
could put your pins all over the pizza like
Yeah.
toppings.
And
And
then
her
there's-
theme was sort of this pizza theme.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's pockets inside too. On top of that, there's like a little pouch.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, yeah. On this side, there's
Oh, yeah.
pockets.
Yeah,
You
it's
can lose
really
a lot
nice.
of stuff in here.
Yeah, this would be great
Yeah.
for a knit night.
It would totally be good.
could fit
and
quite
it
a
was
bit.
really good for toting around VKL.
And there's this really awesome. I thought this was leather because it's printed
It looks
so well.
Yeah,
That's Shelly
I
Can.
love that.
And then because I knew, like, first thing I needed to get was this little pizza box, and inside are pizza enamel pins. Perfect. Love them.
They're really cool.
Like I don't even
Really
want to
love
take it out
those.
of the box.
I know. I know exactly what you mean. Because it's so perfectly well
It's
done.
so perfect.
Yeah.
And I was dying for this. Because I love using this in my kitchen. It's a pizza paddle and it's a needle gauge. Love it.
Yeah.
Perfect souvenir.
It's you know what?
It's got
That's what a lot of this stuff was
Yeah.
from Shelly Cam. They were souvenirs. Like they're practical and they're usable, but they're souvenirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except this I'll use. I got the Lanolin Rich Knitter's Hand Balm. This one is Limoncello Basil. Oh my gosh,
I like
did
that
you
one too.
smell it?
Yeah, I love that.
And I love these hand balms for my
Okay,
knitting
I'm gonna
bags.
ask you a question
Okay.
about hand balms. Lip balms that are like that, where they're like solid and you just sort of like do this. How do you get enough on your hands to use it?
For
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
You have to
Because
kinda
I'm
warm
like,
it up.
You're kind of like, oh,
If it's really cold, it's hard, but you have to kind of warm it up.
okay.
And then I just keep doing
And
it.
Okay. I was just
Yeah.
curious because I've never really used those ones before. I always have like the ones in like little tubes.
Yeah, and I find these are better for like spot. Like you
Oh,
don't
okay,
always get it
okay,
everywhere.
that makes more sense.
But the
yeah.
more you kind of warm it up with your finger, you can
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
do that.
Okay.
You gave me this adorable
I did.
charm.
I couldn't help it.
It is from Charmed and Dangerous.
Yep.
It's a polymer clay charm, and it is like a bagel with locks. Because I love bagels with locks.
And we had been talking
So
about it,
cute.
having it for breakfast.
Yes.
Which we ended up having that
We
day.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had it 2 days.
we did. And then I saw them, except I kept dropping half my bagels on the floor. It was too early and I was not well enough caffeinated. I know.
I forgot about this one at Primrose. I picked up one of their enamel pins, which Twill and Print did for them. And I think this,
Is that the glow-in-the-dark one?
you know, I think it might be. I can't remember because there was a rose gold one and then there was the glow in the dark.
It's not dark enough in here. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's glows in the dark. Yeah.
I really wanted the rose gold,
Yeah. love
but
that.
I was like, this is kind of cool.
I like those.
And then, I got this pin was given to me from Sophie at Delphina. She does beautiful project bags. And she had this, I don't know, let's see if we can get that. There we go. This cute little pin,
It's very cute.
which is nice to add to my collection. And I think that's it.
You've got...
I did that one.
No.
Oh, my needles.
Yeah.
I actually just took it out of the, I think I was going to knit. Was it for the co-book? I can't remember. I wanted to try a set of the needles from the Indian Lake Artisans.
Yeah,
yes,
I'll show you.
Go.
There's their... I have packaging. So.
And I decided to just get a 4mm to try a hat. And I'm really excited about these. We spent some time at their booth.
Yeah.
And I tried knitting with some of the sample needles that they had out, and
yeah.
I really liked it. And I think one of the things that sold me was not only the way that the needles feel, because they are, is it a hexagon?
Yeah,
I think it's
they're hexagonal,
right?
like a pencil.
Yeah, so they're more comfortable, but the swivel is what got me, because I notice when I'm knitting a hat, I'm putting, like, there's tension on my wrist.
Right.
And I'm sometimes, like, trying to untwist. Like, I get a little bit twisted. I don't know how I'm knitting, but I thought that this might help that.
Yeah, I think sometimes it depends on how you hold your needles. If you hold them too tightly, you can get twisted in the cable. Right?
I think that's what I do.
And it makes your knitting more difficult.
And it kind of kinks a little bit, and then every once in a while I have to kind of let go.
Yeah.
I have to
sort of stretch it all out.
And let it loosen up again and get back into...
I find that with sock needles. Like when I'm knitting socks, especially because I do all my magic loop. If after about 3 turns, sometimes the cable will go a bit funky, and then I sort of have to like readjust everything.
Yeah.
But I know I do have one that has a swivel like that, and that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
They're fun. I've done a little bit of knitting with mine already, and I really enjoyed it. So I hope you like it. Considering it's like, here, buy this.
I'm sure I will. Yeah, I think that was a good purchase though, because I'm excited to try them.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your favorite things?
I sure do.
Why don't we get right into favorite things?
Okay, let's do it. So, I'm going to start with this one because this is like really a favorite thing. So when we went to Italy, we were just sort of walking around figuring out what we wanted to eat for lunch or dinner, whatever that was. I think it was like a lunch dinner. It's a late lunch.
It was an Italian style lunch.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Sunday lunch actually, so it was. Yeah, perfect.
So we walked by and saw this cookbook by Lydia, whose show I love. She's got a PBS show, and I'm sure tons of you know who she is. That's her right there.
Lydia Bastianich.
Yes, and this book is done with her daughter. And I hadn't seen this one, and my mom has most of Lydia's cookbooks already.
Oh, cool.
And I saw this, and I thought, what is that? And when we did a really quick flip through...
Every page we landed on was something we wanted to eat.
But also, like, not super complicated,
Yeah.
which is what I like. Like, I love to cook, and I love cookbooks and nice recipes and interesting food, but I don't want 20 million steps.
No.
I don't have time
No.
or patience. And everything that we stopped on, we were like, yep.
Yep, I would eat that.
Yep.
Yep, that looks good.
Yep.
Yep, we could do that.
And I already made something on Friday night. Let's see if I can grab the...
It looked really good, by the way.
It was
It looked
delicious.
really good. Yeah.
It was good. Everybody in the house ate it, which is always a thing here.
Yeah.
Or in any family.
Well, with especially young boys who might be finicky.
Everybody's has their preference, right?
Yeah.
Here it is. So I made the baked rigatoni with zucchini. It was kind of simple. Like it wasn't...
Right.
There wasn't much prep.
But there's only like, what, 12 ingredients?
Yeah. Yeah. So you basically sauteed a few things like the onions and the zucchini. You cook your pasta, and then you make the sauce in with the zucchini, and you just combine it all, and you're done.
Together.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you bake it. I put a little extra cheese on because I have kids, and
Not
they
gonna
loved
lie.
that.
Little cheese
well,
goes a long way.
I like cheese too.
Yeah,
but,
me too.
And I think there's another recipe I'm going to try tonight. But this book is like a big winner. I think it's going to stay in the kitchen for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff. Like I would start talking about some of the recipes, but I could talk about probably three-quarters of them.
Yeah.
So I will leave it at that and just say that I think it's a really, really good book.
Awesome.
Then I have 2 products. So the lovely Sophia from the Knitters League, she was working on Saturday in the Nice and Knit booth, and we've chatted before. We've become friends on Instagram, and she gave me this amazing package, and I would love to show you everything, but we'll be here all day. It was so generous. You saw it, right?
Yeah, it was impressive.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Sophia is like, she knows her products. Let's just leave it at that. Candle and shampoo and conditioner. But I pulled out two that I thought were worth mentioning because they're incredible.
Well, it's favorite things. And if these
Favorite
are
things.
like favorite things.
And I've been using them nonstop since I started. So the first one is from Trader Joe's, which we don't have here, but
sadly,
when we're gonna go get some of this when I run out, because this is incredible. It's the Trader Joe's Lemongrass Coconut Body Oil. And right now with this weather, it's amazing. And it's not like pure oil. So it's like this emulsion. It's not dripping everywhere.
Oh, cool.
This, you know what? Like, do you want to smell it?
Yeah.
Here, put it. Here, I'll put it on me. It's.
Oh, that smells really nice.
Oh, it's so nice. Like
just a
lemony,
teensy bit.
and it's a little like it's oil, so it's gonna get all over us. But it's so refreshing and moisturizing. It's really, really nice. So I wanted to mention
I know
that
my
because
nose
that
now.
was a Sophia favorite, and now it's my favorite.
Ooh.
And keeping along with the whole moisturizing theme, which is perfect for this weather. She
struggle
also,
is real.
oh my gosh, she gave me this hand cream, which I don't know of the brand. I didn't know of this before. It's Tokyo Milk.
I've heard of the brand, but I've never used it or tried it.
And it's called the Bon Bon Shea Butter Lotion. The packaging is so pretty. I'm gonna keep this box for something.
Yeah.
And it's this
DPNs. You could store your DPNs in there.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, because the inside of the box is gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
That
Or I was
oil
thinking
really
of
does
keeping
get-
it in my dresser drawer where I have jewelry. I might
Oh,
put
yeah.
some of my beautiful tube. And this one smells beautiful and is really, really good on my hands, and it's not greasy. So I wanted to mention that too because I'm loving it.
That's lovely. I like that.
Thank you, Sophia. She's got me addicted to a few things
Yeah.
already. And then I have one last thing, which is
As we keep rubbing in the oil.
yeah, I have to keep going. It's an audio podcast that I just discovered a few weeks ago, and I am loving it. It is Friends with Recipes.
Yes. Yeah, that's the one you told me
Oh.
about. I love it.
I love it. Have you listened?
I started listening to it in the car, and then I got a phone call.
Yeah.
But like the 5 minutes I listened to was really good.
It's
yeah.
like it's exactly what I want to listen to. It's basically this woman, I forget her name. I know her last name's Hungerford. And
I'll look it up while you're talking.
okay, and I know on Instagram she's Hunger Mama. And is it Becky? Maybe it's, can't remember. But she
coming.
goes to visit a friend in their kitchen, and she records while they make their favorite recipe for her. So she talks about Bethy Hungerford.
Which is the most appropriate surname ever
Hungerford, right?
for a cooking.
Yes, well,
one.
I
Yeah.
think she might have a blog too, Hunger Mama. And she's just having this conversation in the kitchen, which is like one of my favorite things. She looks in some of their fridges. She just talks to them as they're cooking about, like, what do you make when you're exhausted? What do you make when you're working outside of the house and you don't have time? And a lot of them have kids. I think all of them so far. So
Right.
if you have a family or if you have kids or a lot of people around, it's kind of interesting because you get an idea of what it's like to cook for all these different people.
Yeah.
So a lot of them talk about they feed their kids first, which I think might be a European thing.
Well,
lot
it's
of
usually in most European households anyway. You feed the kids first because you have dinner so much later as an adult. Like you feed the kids around 5 o'clock, and then the adults will eat at 8 or 9.
Yeah, and they call it tea, which I love, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm loving that. I've been really enjoying it, and I thought I would pass that along. It's a great audio podcast.
And I have added it to my queue, like I said. So I'll be on it eventually.
Yeah.
I'll be catching up, let's say.
Yeah, I still have a couple to listen to, which I'm really excited about.
Is it the kind of one that like you savor? Like you have
I don't want to
bit?
listen to them all because it just started, and she doesn't have a lot in her library yet. I think there are 4.
So it's a savoring moment. We like those.
I want to savor it. It's
Yeah.
really good. I might even go back because I really, really like it.
Well, sometimes you have to. Like
Yeah.
you can like listen to it a couple of times and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Great recommendations.
That's it. That is
Wow.
everything I got and some of my favorite things. So I think we could
That's
probably
awesome.
wrap up part 1,
I think that's a good wrap-up point.
right?
That's great.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, you did really, really well.
I'm very
Let me
excited.
ask you, what's your favorite thing you got? Your favorite thing. It's all laid out in front of you. Oh, I'm putting her on the spot.
It's really hard because I have to say this made me so happy because
Yeah.
it's like a souvenir. But if you're
Yeah.
talking about knitting, I have 2. Can I do 2?
Okay, yeah, you can do 2. You can do 2.
Okay.
We'll let you
Because
do
I'm
2.
dying over this yarn,
Yeah.
and I'm dying to make this cowl
Oh.
because it's so
I have
beautiful.
not paid her to say this.
No, but like, and I don't know. There's something soothing about all of these. Like they're
Yeah.
very calm but beautiful.
Yeah.
With like a little bit of a pop in there, like this purple in here. So I think those are my favorites.
Well,
Most excited to
that's
make.
awesome. I can't wait to see some of this start to happen. Like what you're going to cast on next. And I really like the Sunday Times from Chelsea Lux.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cast this on today or tonight,
Okay.
Sunday night.
Knitting. Sunday night cast-ons.
Sunday night
It's a
knitting!
new thing! Yay! Can I just say that oil? I won't say it's a bit much. Like I can still smell it. It doesn't feel oily. I can see it.
I mean, it's
but
really for your
it's-
body.
Yeah.
Like I
yeah.
slather it on.
If
And
I didn't have sleeves on, I'd be
Yeah.
like going after my elbows and stuff.
yeah, but it's like after a bath or a shower, if you put this on,
Yeah.
you just feel so nice. Yeah.
And you know what? Trader Joe's, the closest one to us is Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I think sometime maybe before the end of the winter, we'll end up making a run. You know what? That's what we'll probably do. You'll run it and be like, oh, time for
Eric.
Target and Trader Joe's run. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's part 1, guys.
Part 1.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you so much for watching. And for part 2, you can head on over to the Sticks plus Twine channel and see what Eric's been working on
Yep.
and what you got at Vogue Knitting Live too.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But we're going to share everything with you on part 2.
Yes.
Okay. We'll see you in a few.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.